Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. I have just watched the Champions League draw for the quarterfinals and the semi-finals of the Champions League. The draw is fascinating, as are the semi-finals here. I'm going to run through them all and I'm going to give you my predictions. But first, I recorded myself as the draw happened. So here are my reactions to the draw as it happened. So here are my reactions. Is that Claudio Ranieri? Get on with it! Shuffle the balls, Hammett. Come on, son. I'm ready to shuffle, and I will now shuffle. Oh, here we go. Man City, first out the hat. They made sure, so it looks like they're not cheating. Makes sense. Clever. Here comes Porto. Porto or Dortmund. Guaranteed. Here it comes. Put them first, so they went. That was the hot ball, so you went with the one that was hottest, because you want to get it done quickly, because otherwise it cools. Borussia Dortmund. I did say that, didn't I? Interesting. I'm kidding. Haaland goes to Man City. Porto. I feel like Liverpool or Chelsea are going to get Porto here. It's Chelsea, isn't it? Wow. I called it. That's two I've kind of called the second team. I think Porto would be quite happy with that. Bayern. Ooh. I wrote down Liverpool, it's so certain. PSG. I think Bayern would be quite happy with that. PSG, not so much. And Real Madrid, Liverpool. Real Madrid, Liverpool. That is fascinating. I don't think Liverpool would be too gutted about that either. So, semi-finals. A lot of people want City, Bayern for the final. So that's the thing. Is I guess it's if those two stay away from each other. What could be? You could see a Liverpool-Chelsea semi-final as well. There's a narrative there. Here we go. Bayern and PSG. I'd like to see Man City's one here. It is Man City. Wow. So that means it could be a Chelsea-Liverpool semi-final. I think Chelsea would have been happy getting Liverpool even in the quarterfinals. So semi-finals, I think Chelsea are well happy if they can get them. So those are my reactions as they happened. A couple of predictions. That it's funny, isn't it? You just have that feeling and then it happens. Obviously, I didn't get them all right. There's so many narratives in this. I'm really excited to go through it. Before I do get through it, do me a favour, guys. If you've been enjoying the content recently or if you enjoy this video, please do consider subscribing. Currently at 93k, trying to get myself to 100k, and you can help me make that happen by moving your mouse and clicking the button. So please do that and hit the like button if you've enjoyed the way that I've put this video together today. It'll be interesting to see what you think about it. Can we hit 3,000 likes on this? Go on, give it a go. Right, let's get into these games here because I did call it, didn't I? Man City, I know there's been a lot of talk about how they seem to get easy draws. Of course, they don't get easy draws, do they? Now, of course they don't. But they've got themselves Dortmund. I think this is one that is perfect for Guardiola and an absolute nightmare for Dortmund. Now, possibly, look, if Sancho's back, and he should be back for this next round, for this quarterfinal, then possibly. My problem here is that Man City are so dominant in their control of football games at the moment that I think that defensive line of Dortmund's, I just think it's going to struggle. You know, whoever you play as the centre-backs, if Chan plays there, Hummel's getting a bit older, it's a little bit creaky, and I just think that they'll be able to be picked off quite easily. I think the good thing for Dortmund is I guess they've got the second leg at home, but actually, as I say that, I'm talking crap, aren't I? Because it doesn't really matter anymore. Away form, home form, you haven't got the, you haven't got the yellow wall there to help you if you're a Dortmund fan. So I just feel like this is just a really obvious one that Man City are surely going to win this. I think they've got the bit between their teeth. The other thing as well, Dortmund have got to deal with the league form. They need to get themselves back into the Champions League. Their defence has been so leaky this season, and I just can't see how they stop this Man City team. If they can find a way to defend a little bit better, then maybe Haaland can score a goal for them. But that said, I can't see how Man City don't score 3-4 goals out of the 2 ties. And with the way that Man City's defence has been this season, there's just no way. I just can't see Dortmund getting through this one. So Man City, I think, are going to win that one. And we'll get into the semi-finals because I think there's some clear storylines there as well, which is Fascinating. Porto versus Chelsea. This is interesting because I was looking at Porto, looking at the key goal scorers for them. Oliveira is the big goal scorer both in the league and in the Champions League. But if you think of the goals that he scored, 3 penalties in the Champions League this year so far this season, that unbelievable free kick as well. Porto struggling to score goals in the Champions League and they haven't. I mean, the game against Juventus, really, Juventus should have made their way through in that. They really did. They had the chances to do it. And Porto, look, they had 10 men, so they were hanging on a little bit. They've also got Taremi missing. Taremi, of course, the Iranian forward, got sent off in that last game, so he's not going to be able to play in this one. The one thing that I do like it, if you were a Porto fan, is Chelsea, as great as they've been, and this is why I wanted to see Chelsea Real Madrid. The reason I wanted to see Chelsea Real Madrid was because I wanted to see Tuchel tactically kind of try and pick apart Real Madrid, a team that kind of controls possession, a team that's quite cute, a team that's actually started to get ticking again. But they're playing Porto. Porto defensively will look to be very strong and resolute there, and Chelsea will need to break them down. And I think that's going to be really interesting in this one. And I think if you're Porto and you're looking at these different games, I feel like the Chelsea game is probably the one that you pick. Just because, in terms of their fluency in scoring goals, you haven't seen that from Chelsea. So if Porto can score from set pieces or the free kicks of, the brilliance of Oliveira, then maybe they can get themselves through this tie, or at least take it to that second tie where they're going to have Taremi back. That's going to be huge for them. So this is, in terms of stumbling blocks, this could be the one. After the draw for the last round, I gave you my predictions then, and I only got 2 wrong. I got most of them right. The 2 that I did get wrong, though, were the Porto and the Chelsea game. So it's those 2 coming together for this one. And if there's going to be a shock, a proper shock, I do feel like it is Porto again. If they kind of look to sort of frustrate Chelsea and are able to kind of do them on set pieces, basically. I think that there could be something in there for that one. Bayern Munich versus PSG. PSG was so disappointing in that Barcelona second leg, but so great in the first leg. Neymar will be back for this game, which gives them a chance. And I think with PSG, the one thing you can say about Bayern this year is that high line. They concede so many more goals, but again, they score so many as well. And if you think, of course, this is a revenge opportunity for PSG from that Champions League final last season. And if you go back to that game, PSG were all right. They had some really good opportunities. Defensively, of course, Silva's not there anymore, but Marquinhos has been brilliant for them. And that Barcelona game, I felt like there was maybe some mental scarring there of Barcelona PSG. We remembered what happened last time, and maybe it played a little part in their mind. I think they've got to be smarter on this occasion. And I think possibly Mbappe could be able to do something against that high line. That said, Bayern I think it's 13 times they've been behind in games and then ploughed through and destroyed them. They've got that mental fortitude to be able to kind of come back and do very, very strong. And also away from home, super strong, both in the Champions League and in the league this season. So that second leg, you can imagine them, if it is tight, kind of clicking into another gear. My thoughts on Bayern are the fact that they've done so much and they've been so prolific. This season, it doesn't feel like it. Yes, it's not the same, but they're still one of the best 2 teams in the world right now. And so they should have enough to beat this PSG side. And of course, you've got the prolific goal scoring of Lewandowski, Kimmich, all the players that they've got, they're frightening. I think the only team that can stop Bayern is Man City. And we'll talk about that in a second. So I think they go through on this one. I think Poch has got to do something very, very special to be able to get through this. And then Real Madrid versus Liverpool. This one, I cannot choose this one because I think in terms of maybe pacing behind, you've got Vinicius Jr. who can offer that and could maybe sort of destroy this Liverpool high line. But I think I'm starting to see a much better Liverpool and a Liverpool team that, of course, you're going to play up against this Real Madrid side where they're going to use the likes of Toni Kroos and Modric, and they are kind of press-proof in that sense. And Vinicius will be the guy who offers that pace. But I think Liverpool could do some damage against Real Madrid. I think that the high-intensity play that they can, I think that's what they've got to do in this game. They've got to go full throttle against Real Madrid because they do like to control the game and they can control the game so well. Really, really tough one here. I think, who am I choosing for this one? I think Real Madrid will just have a little bit too much quality overall. Benzema has to stay fit. He is absolutely everything for Real Madrid because they don't have the front line options otherwise. But I think if Benzema's fit, I think Real Madrid might go through on this one. Yeah, because I think that back four is still a problem. So, certainly the two centre-backs is still a problem when you're playing against the best of the best of the best. Final thing to say is the semi-final draw has also happened as well. So you can see it there, winner of quarter-final 3. So that's Bayern versus PSG will play Man City or Dortmund. Two amazing stories there. One, Bayern versus Man City, which I think a lot of people are saying these are the top two teams, understandably so. I agree with that. And I think if that happens, that almost gives other teams an opportunity, because I think these two, whoever wins that, say Man City and Bayern go through, they play each other in the semi-final, they will think they've got the divine right to win the final. And of course we know in one game of football, it doesn't work like that. Dortmund, if they're able to get through and play against Bayern, then of course you've got the Klassiker there. And also, if PSG are able to take on Dortmund, you've got Mbappe versus Haaland, and if PSG play Man City, then you've got a lot of oil money washing about. So loads of narratives there, and I think PSG and Man City, I said this on the kickoff recently, that's gonna be a storyline for years to come. So if it's those two somehow, which I can't see that happening, but if it does happen, then you've just got so many great storylines. In the other one, Real and Liverpool versus Porto or Chelsea. Chelsea-Liverpool would be an amazing semi-final. And of course, you've got Real Madrid, Chelsea. Hazard, is he going to be able to be fit and get himself back? I think he's just got injured again recently after coming on for 15 minutes. So that could be tough for him. So probably not going to be likely. So I think the two semi-finals that you want to see if you're a neutral are Bayern Man City and Liverpool Chelsea. Just to kind of conjure up those amazing storylines that you've seen in the past. Of course, Liverpool Chelsea was so much history in the semi-finals of Champions Leagues. So there you have it. I'm going to go so here you go. Man City, Porto, Bayern, Real Madrid, and then in the semi-finals, Man City to beat Bayern, Real Madrid to beat Porto, and then Man City to beat Real Madrid in the final. Those are my predictions. Let me know yours, guys, in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this kind of video, then please do me a favour. Hit that like button, smash it, in fact, pump it, in fact. It's a new word I'm trying to get going. And subscribe to the channel. Let's get ourselves to 100k. I'll see you guys all very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.